Arsenal dispatch of Newcastle United 4-1 in a thrilling game at the Emirates that shows that Arsenal are not only title contenders, but that they are a very good side, and maybe they should be feared a lot more when it comes to Champions League chances. Newcastle were limited to very few attacking opportunities, and in the first half were limited to no shots at all, let alone shots on target. But Arsenal need to get a lot more respect from not only me as an Arsenal fan, but from a lot of the pundits who still do not believe that Arsenal are fully in this title race. And in dispatching of Newcastle in the manner that they did, they show a trend that not all teams that come to the Emirates aren't able to compete when the Gunners when they are in full flow. What's up, guys? It's your boy Izzy, and if you're new to the channel, please consider hitting that like and the subscribe button to let YouTube and everybody else know that you're enjoying this content. Arsenal were very confident in their play yesterday, and it felt as though this game was going to be much needed revenge after their loss at St. James's Park that came in very controversial circumstances. There were very, very good goals from Arsenal, and Newcastle scored their first goal at the Emirates for just about under a decade, and this was a game that Arsenal needed to go out there and show their fans that they were able to bounce back after that loss in the Champions League against Porto. Newcastle were pretty much put to the sword after the first 25 minutes when Kai Havertz and an own goal from Botman had put Arsenal 2-0 up. And if it wasn't for the fact that Arsenal were a little bit profligate for the next 25 minutes, Arsenal could have easily gone to halftime about 3 or 4-0 up. Arsenal were very good in that first half, and they did not allow Newcastle a chance to breathe. So much so that Newcastle had no shot on target. And this was the first time all season that a team had gone the first half without having a single shot on goal. Arsenal were very good, but Newcastle also didn't represent themselves in the best light, and it seemed as though they were beaten before the game even started. But the thing about pundits when they talk about Arsenal right now, and I understand it because it's very hard to trust Arsenal with their recent reputation when it comes to title run-ins, but a lot of pundits do not seem to still believe that Arsenal might be able to cause a lot of problems when it comes to their games against Manchester City or even against Tottenham when they go to Tottenham towards the end of the season. Arsenal do admittedly have a very tough run-in, but so do Manchester City, and even Liverpool have a couple of tricky games, but Liverpool's main problem is going to be that they have a very huge injury crisis at the moment, and they will be hoping that most of their players are going to be able to come back before that crucial game at Anfield against Manchester City. But most pundits right now don't have the faith that Arsenal are going to be able to last the course, and it's because they do believe that when it comes to the crunch of it, Arsenal might not be able to keep up this form when they face Manchester City or when they face Manchester United. But I'd like to start thinking that Arsenal need to get much more respect than they've been having, because most pundits keep talking about these teams getting beaten as though these teams did not put in any effort. And I get it, because Newcastle, West Ham, and Burnley are teams that have been shipping goals of late. But when you look to the fact that they also did the same thing to Liverpool, it's about time people start respecting the fact that Arsenal are a good team, and they have a very good ability to stop teams from having shots on their goal. Newcastle did try to have a bit of a rouse in the second half, and they performed a lot better than they did in the first half. But Kai Havertz really should have made them go 3-0 up when he, instead of dinking the ball over the goalkeeper or having a very cute finish, put the ball just wide of the goalie's left-hand side. Arsenal were in very, very good flow, and it wasn't until later on when Bukayo Saka was able to add a third. This guy has scored in his last 6 games for Arsenal in the league, and he is looking unstoppable right now. He is unplayable. Bukayo Saka is not only the light of Arsenal fans, but he is the light of England as well. And in the Euros, I am going to be very interested to see where Gareth Southgate puts him and how he performs. But as far as this Arsenal team, you look at Odegaard and you look at Havertz and you look at Jorginho, who was having a fantastic game. His ability to just hold on to the ball and calm all the Arsenal midfield players is something that is absolute gold. And most of us, when we saw Jorginho bought by Arsenal after having a couple of very tough transfers when it comes to the likes of Willian and maybe David Luiz in the past, we did not give a lot of credence to the fact that Arteta had this foresight to see that Arsenal would need a player of his ability in that midfield. Because in these larger games, it seems as though Arteta is trusting him a lot more than he would trust some other player in that midfield. Now, while Kai Havertz and Trossard have this wonderful ability to interchange in that number 8 and that striker position, Jorginho offers a lot more solidity in that midfield, and it's going to be interesting to see who Arteta decides to play when Arsenal do go to the Etihad at the end of March. But later on, Arsenal were able to rack up another goal, Kivio getting a header from a corner kick, and a lot has been said about Arsenal's prowess when it comes to set pieces, and the fact that Declan Rice just seems to be getting so much better at delivering the ball into the right places. And in the first half, they also scored from another set piece, and Arsenal are confounding a lot of opponents when it comes to set pieces. And with Eddie Howe and the fact that Newcastle have a lot of taller players and a lot of very good players in the air, it was kind of surprising for a lot of people to see that they conceded 2 goals from set pieces. And that seems to be Arsenal's ace in their pack, because it seems that a lot of teams are not able to cope with them when it comes to a lot of these set pieces. But overall, it was a very good game. Towards the end, Arsenal's quality diminished when they made a couple of changes, and we saw Joe Willock, who returned to the Emirates, and he was able to score for Newcastle. It was bittersweet seeing one of our Hale End graduates score against us, but we wish him all the best in Newcastle, and it's good to hear that he still had a lot of fond memories of Arsenal, and his comments after the game relayed that. But Newcastle were put to the sword, but a lot of people seem to think that Arsenal are not just good. It seems though they think that these teams are laying down and dying before us. But I think the way Arsenal tend to play is limiting these opponents, and it's making it hard for them to play when we play against them. Overall, it's very good. I am seeing my team perform, and it's getting harder for me to not raise myself and the stakes towards the end of the season to believe that we can actually do it. Right now, I still do have Liverpool slightly ahead because I'm not sure about their injuries and the timeline and the return that these players are going to have. But Liverpool are able to dispatch of opponents just as well as Arsenal or Manchester City, who are not that convincing right now, are doing. So at this moment, I still have Liverpool as just favorites, and I have Arsenal and Manchester City just behind them, because I do think that both of them have very hard run-ins, and Manchester City's is about to start in the next couple of weeks, so we will see exactly what they're made of. The fact that Manchester City seem to be trying to save De Bruyne for those harder fixtures lets you know that Pep Guardiola knows he is in for a very tough run-in. But anyway, guys, let me know what you think. Arsenal were scintillating in this game. It was good to get some revenge against Newcastle. I feel bad because my little brother is a big Newcastle fan, but hey, it's part of the course when it comes to supporting a Premier League team. Let me know what you think down in the comments. It's been your boy Izzy, and as always, thank you for watching, thank you for support, and until the next review, peace.